Hey guys, techmadeezy. Thank you so much for clicking on our video today. Hey, in this video, we are going to be comparing the Ego 56-volt select cut dual blade system against the Honda gas mower with the micro cut dual blade system. All right, we're going to be doing all types of cutting comparisons. I'm going to do a maintenance cut. I'm going to be doing a bagging cut. I'm even going to do a test on the motor with a high grass cut. I'm going to be comparing self-propel, the handle height, the noise level of these machines, and much more. I'm also going to cover detailed specs, as well as pros and cons to both of these machines. The Ego machine in front of you is the LM2156SP. The cost is about $750. This machine came out in early 2021. All right, the machine to your right is the Honda HRX217. It cost about $629. I bought this machine in 2018, okay? But they are still making this machine. All right, let's get started with going over what's included. Now, I'm going to start off with the Ego. So with the Ego, not only do you get your bagger, but you get a rear side discharge. So this actually goes in the back of the mower and it shoots out grass from behind the rear right wheel, okay? You do get a mulch plug, all right? When you're going to mulch, you're going to push this into the back of the mower. You're going to take off your bag because at that point you're basically putting the grass as you cut it back on the lawn as vitamins, okay? You do get a 700-watt charger. Okay, now this is a charger that comes with a cooling fan. It actually cools the battery while it charges it. It also has a fuel gauge, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, just like the battery does, which is really nice. This also has a smart capability. It has a button. You can connect this to the Ego app. You can actually see where your battery is at. You can even set a threshold so you can get a notification like 75%, for instance. You get a 10 amp hour battery included in this package, the LM2156SP specifically. This is a 10 amp hour battery. It's their highest capacity to date. As I said before, it does come with a fuel gauge, which is nice. And the battery by itself is anywhere from $400 to $500. So believe me, these batteries are not cheap, but they're made very well because of Ego's Arc Lithium technology and Keep Cool technology, which is really, really nice. All right, now let's talk about the Honda and what's included. Well, again, besides some manuals, that's it. You're getting a bagger and the machine. How's that possible? Especially compared to the Ego with all the stuff they give you. Well, obviously you're using gas, so you don't need a charger and you don't need a battery. But let me go ahead and show you why you don't need a mulch plug and you don't need a side discharge plug. All right, I put the handle down because I want to show you what they call their clip director, right? This is the Honda clip director. And it is a nice invention, to be honest with you. So with this director, you can actually mulch. And when you close this all the way, it basically closes what I'm going to show you in a moment, inside, in the back. And then when you can actually say, you know what, I want to mulch and I want a bag, right? So depending on how much you open this up, you can put it right in the middle. It's really up to you. It really gives you a ton of options. If you want a bag, you can open it up all the way. So let's take a look at what mulch looks like with it closed. I'll go ahead and use my handy bungee cord. All right. Okay, and that's holding that open. So let's take a good look at inside at this unit here, and then I'll try to, so as you can see, and I'll try to add a little more light to this shot. All right, the clip director is on mulch, which means it is closed, right? It is closed all the way so that all of the grass can go round and round within that deck, get cut up small enough to be put right back into the lawn. Now, let me go ahead and see how I can do this with the camera, without the camera, but let me see if, yeah, I can go ahead and kind of start to open it up slowly. See that? So this is That's level 1. It'll allow some to come in. Now I'm going to be honest with you, level 1 doesn't always work for me because I actually get grass caught up in there. So, you know, you kind of have to open it up to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9 is all the way. Sorry about the camera shakeage, but I don't have a film crew. But pretty cool, right? I mean, so just wanted to show you the clip director and some of the benefits of not having a mulch plug or a side discharge. Now, check this out, okay? So the way they designed the back here for the mower, what they did was they left it open on the bottom. And what that does is rear discharge. So when this is open all the way and you don't have your bag on, and that's down, you can now do rear discharge, right? Because they've got a spot here that the grass will just come out as you're mowing. Is that pretty cool? And then obviously, you know, mulch is that closed, and then bagging, well, you put your bagger on and you're all set. Nice invention, pretty cool. Let's go ahead and put the mulch plug in as well as the rear side discharge so you can see what that looks like. All right, so I'm going to take the handle and just open this up. All right, it's got a midpoint, which is nice. That's great for removing your bag or, you know, when you're removing your bagger. Now, this is the mulch plug, and, you know, it goes in this way because obviously your deck is on the bottom, okay? So all we do here is open up the back, slide the mulch plug in, and that's it. And then when this is closed, it actually holds the mulch plug in so it doesn't move. It does a pretty good job. Let's go ahead and insert the rear discharge. So I'm just going to lift this up. I'm going to take out the mulch plug. All right. And this is a rear side discharge. So basically, if you see these two notches down here, the bottom of this goes in there, okay? Once you have it in, you pretty much push this in all the way, and you put your top down, and you just want to make sure that you lock it into place. So you have to put your hand underneath here and just make sure it's actually being locked into place. And you'll know that because there's no gap, which is important, okay? So you have no gap. And now, basically, what will happen is as you rear side discharge, as you move forward, it'll basically push the grass out this way. And that's it. And that's the rear side discharge. All right, let's cover the deck material. All right, these are both 21-inch decks. This is a neck side material, which is really like a form of plastic, right? Very thick. Very hard. Looks like it's got some flexibility. Been around a long time. I believe it's a Honda invention. This here is a polycarbonate on the Ego Select Cut XP. I've been using the Ego probably a little more than the Honda because I got the Honda in 2018. 2019 I learned about battery operated. Did my first review and been hooked ever since. In the next video, what I'll do is I'll turn these upside down so you can see the blades, and you'll be pretty interested to know that the blades on these two are very similar. So let's take a look at that. All right, guys, so I want to show you under the decks of the Honda HRX217 and, of course, the Select Cut XP. Now, I want you to notice the blade system. I did do a changing of the blades, by the way. I can put a link in the description down in the video. But I did change the blades. I put brand new blades on here, okay, to make it really fair. But I want you to see something. Honda seems to use a combination with their microcut of a high lift blade, okay? And so we're going to leave the high lift blades on the Select Cut XP. Now, I'll probably just clean up the deck a little bit because I just cleaned this deck up and I just put new blades on. I'm going to make this real fair, but we're going to look at cuts, right? At the end of the day, which one cuts better? And then I'm going to try, you know, some suction videos. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that. I don't have leaves, but we will probably leave some mulch on the ground and see who does a better job of sucking it up. And normally gas wins with that, guys. Okay, so more to come. One thing I don't talk a lot about on the channel is actually how many bushels the baggers can actually handle, and I think I'm going to start including that. So the Ego bag actually can hold 2 bushels of grass clippings. The Honda can actually hold 2.5, so that's 25% more. Pretty interesting, but something you should know about. As far as motors are concerned, the Ego has a 1200 watt motor with 8.3 foot-pounds of torque. The Honda is actually obviously a gas motor, 4-stroke overhead cam, single cylinder, and it's belt driven. All right. Now I didn't find the torque on this, but if I do, I'll include it on the screen. When we talk about runtime, the Ego can go up to 75 minutes with a 10 amp hour battery that it includes. Okay. Obviously, for a gas mower, it's pretty unlimited, right? You know, I mean, the gas lasts for a long time. These machines don't use a lot of gas. So, there you go. Let's go ahead and cover wheels. So, on the Honda has 9-inch in the front and 9-inch in the back, and they're ball bearing wheels. So, that's definitely very helpful long term. And they say they're plastic, but I got to tell you, these really feel like a good grippy rubber. I mean, so that's nice there. The Ego, again, ball bearing as well. 7-inch in the front, definitely more plasticky, but decent grip pattern. And in the back, we've got 9-inch. All right. So there you go as far as wheels. If you're going to be mowing in the evening, the Honda does not have any lights, and I haven't seen any of their mowers to have lights. Now, don't get me wrong, a lot of people don't mow at night. I've come home late sometimes and have had to get the lawn mowed because it's going to rain, and I haven't been able to mow, so I've had to. And I've used the lights once or twice, very rare in the last couple of years. But you do get LED lights on the Ego, and I'll go ahead and pull up a video so you can see what that looks like, a real short video. All right, so tomorrow and the next couple of days it's going to rain, and you haven't had a chance to mow your lawn, and it's getting dark. Well, guess what? You have LED headlights on your Ego Select Cut XP. So let's turn them on and let's just get cutting our lawn. As you can see, it does a pretty darn good job of lighting up your immediate area. All you need to do is start your motor and start cutting your lawn. You know, I mean, not a lot of people mow in the dark, but you can, because you've got LED headlights. All right, let's go over deck height now, okay, and also how you adjust the deck. So the Ego is from 1 inch to 4 inches. Now, if you like cutting your lawn a little lower, the Honda has a 3/4 setting all the way up to 4 inches. But I'll tell you, the Ego is definitely going to be easier when it comes to lowering, because it's got one handle that will basically lift and lower. All right, so I can go all the way down to 1 with one hand, all 4 sides, and go all the way up to the high setting, okay? And I leave mine on a 4 most of the time. But let's take a look at the Ego, the Honda. The Honda, you have to adjust each wheel. So that's the only challenge, obviously, is you do have to adjust each wheel. Let me just turn this a little bit. All right, so you see here, each wheel has its own setting, all right? But I do like that this can go down to 3/4. I don't cut any lower than a 3 as far as a setting on the Ego, which is 2.5 inches, I believe. Is it 2 inches? I have to look that up. 3/4, man, I don't know what that looks like, but some people like cutting low. These are not easy. Again, if you're older, these are not as easy. Again, for young guys and young people and everybody, I always have to be honest with people and let them know. But the front's not that bad, okay? You kind of have to hold the mower and you just kind of move these in and out, and they've got the 7 settings with the half at every part there, okay? So if I want to lift it to the highest. But that's, hopefully they'll come out, maybe they did already. Hopefully they'll come out with some kind of one-handed, because the back is definitely harder. Again, I hold on to the pole. I'm a pretty strong guy. You guys don't even know. You'll never see my body. But going all the way up, down to up, it can definitely be a challenge because, guys, this is a 90-pound mower, okay? And so, just something to think about, okay? I'm going to go over handlebar settings and adjustments. I will tell you before I start that I'm also going to show my fiance a little later in this video, right after this part. She's 5 foot tall and I'm 6'2". So she's going to kind of show you the setting that she likes. It's kind of helpful. So now the good news on handle height settings is both of these machines have 3 settings, okay? The Honda, all you do is turn up these knobs. So you got one knob here, all right, and you got the other knob on the other side, all right. It's got catches so it won't fall down, but basically if I pull it back, allow you to see the high, medium, and the low setting. And then when you're going to store this away, what you're going to do is you're just going to go ahead, fold the handle, okay, and take off your bagger maybe, and that's how you store it. As I said, the Ego also has 3 settings, okay? So you just use this one handle, and you can put it in a mid-center if you wanted like a mid setting. But just notice right here, you've got your low, your medium, and your high setting there. Okay, we just had them on low a moment ago. Now, this does fold up more compact, okay? So if you're going to put your mower away, what you're going to do is you're going to unlock these sides. You're going to push your handle in. You're going to lock it. Okay, you're going to grab this. You're going to grab this. You're going to take your bagger out. And this is made to be stored on its side. It is made to. Now, the Honda does have a gas shutoff valve, but to my knowledge, it's not made to be stored on its side. You can put it on its side for like oil changes and stuff for maintenance. But here is the fuel turn off. Right now it's on, and they have a little diagram that's helpful there. If you forget, now it's off. All right, so just wanted to show you that. But it stores pretty well. You take off your bag. If you want to look at what these look like, let's put these next to each other, laying down for a second. Kind of see what the length looks like, at least from wheel to wheel. Very similar as far as length is concerned. Honda might be a drop longer at most, just a drop. Really hard to tell. All right, guys, we're going to use the fence here as a reference. These are both on the highest setting now. All right, I'm going to remember my reference here. But if you look, again, if you're taller, the Ego might be more comfortable for you because you've got, obviously, the sidebars and the top bars you can put your hands on. The Honda, you've got here or here, okay? And let me drop it and then do the same thing. Okay, so as you can see, this is the lowest setting now. The first one was the highest, and this is the lowest. I'm standing up straight right now. And let me just, again, get a different angle for you so you could see what you're dealing with. I hope this is helpful. Another note, here's my fiance, and she's holding on to the Honda now, but she actually has to bend a little bit on the lowest setting. So the middle setting's better for her on the Honda, and slide over to the Ego if you could. Okay. And I mean, the Ego might be a little higher, you know, just because the handlebar, but I think on this one she also agreed that after thinking about it and using the mower a little bit, that medium height setting might be better as well. I'm going to go over self-propel now. After this, I'm going to show you a demo. My fiance is going to help me, and we're going to show you how these run at the slowest setting and at the fastest setting, so you can just see it in motion. Now, the Honda has what they call a smart drive system, or a select drive system, excuse me. And that system goes up to 3.6 miles per hour. How it works is you have a gauge here, right? So you can go ahead, and it's on minimum now. What it'll do is it'll pull this handle out, which probably pulls some type of string, and you can put it all the way out. As you can see, that come all the way out to 3.6 miles per hour. All right, so that's pretty good, and I believe that's actually a little faster than the Ego. The Ego has what they call a touch drive system, and you can use the left, you can use the right. Here is the settings here, so you can have them off, or you can start to click in to the different settings. There's no numbers or anything, but you can hear the clicks, and you'll know. But once this is on, you don't need to turn the mower on at all. Just turn this on, and you can mow this back to the shed, okay, which is nice. Obviously, with a gas mower, you can't do that. You have to start the engine in order to use the self-propel. You know, again, some people want to know that. Hey, I'm going back uphill to return the mower to the shed. All right, but the Ego touch drive system goes from 0.9 at its slowest setting to 3.1 miles per hour. And now here comes the demo. Let's go ahead and check that out. All right, guys, time for self-propel. And as you can see from the beginning of the video, I talked a little bit about self-propel. They do the select drive system with the Honda. We are setting it at the lowest setting, okay? Honestly, up here, it doesn't move at all. So we're gonna just put it at that lowest bar, and then we're gonna do it at the maximum speed. All right, guys, we are gonna go ahead and do self-propel at the slowest setting with the Honda. Now, I do want to mention it is actually cutting and bagging at the same time. Okay, guys, we're going to go ahead and switch it to the fastest. I hope my fiance is going to be okay with this, but we'll find out. All right, guys, we're going to do the slowest setting on the Ego. We don't need to start it up, you know, but I guess, to be fair, we probably will do that. We'll start it up and use self-propel so it mows and it bags at the same time. Let's do that. So pull the bar in. Actually, what you're going to do is press the button. We're going to start it up. No, press the button there. Pull the bar up. Remember to start the engine. All right. We got it at the highest speed, so we're going to go ahead and push the button in, pull the bar. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and do the sound test so you can see how noisy these guys are. We'll start off with the Honda. All right, let me get the meter over here. Let me get it turned on. Actually, I'm trying to think of a good place to put this, because that is going to be a little noisier out the side. So why not put it towards the front right here. I will basically put my hand up against the mower. Okay. And give me 1 second. Let me turn the meter on. Nice and quiet right now. It'll go up as I talk. All right. Now we'll go ahead and do the ego. Button first. Let go of the lever, button first. Let's talk about warranty. So first of all, I'm not sure I mentioned it, but the Honda deck has a lifetime warranty for residential. To my knowledge, that doesn't apply to commercial use. So it depends on how you buy this and how you register it, okay? But the Honda will give you a 5-year residential warranty on the mower, or a 3-month commercial warranty. The Ego, the mower itself has a 5-year, okay? They call it tool. It's got a 5-year. The charger has a 3-year warranty, the 700-watt charger I showed you earlier. And the 10-amp-hour battery, as long as you register it, comes with a 5-year. Normally, Ego batteries have a 3-year warranty, but when they came out with the Select Cut XP, they're now giving you a 5-year, but you do need to register it in order to get that. All right? So that's good to know. All right, guys, the section here that we're cutting is about 4 inches, basically, from what we could see. All right, so most of the grass here is about 4 inches high. We're going to be cutting it down to 2.5 inches. All right. All right, guys, we have the Honda HRX217. It is set on a 2.5, which is actually 2.5 inches. That's really smart of them. The lowest setting is 3/4. The highest setting is 4 inches. So 2 is 2 inches. 2.5 is 2.5 inches. And we'll have the same setting on the Ego, except the numbers are different. Now on the Honda, you have to adjust each of the wheels. So just keep that in mind, okay? We have the bag on. We are going to do a bagging cut so we can compare bagging with these twin blade mowers. All right, I won't use self-propel. So all I'm gonna do in this case is grab my lever and pull. All right, now let's go ahead and do a walk back. Now keep in mind, you know, the bag is all the way open. All right, so let's take a peek. Now the one thing that's interesting is with the bag all the way open, and I want you to see this, right? Here's the bag all the way open, right? You know, all the way open. Did I get any grass in is the question. I should have, I did, okay. So the grass is in there, but for some reason it actually allowed grass to, you know, lay on the lawn. Now that's weird. This is a small section, guys. All right, very small section, but yet I am seeing plenty of mulch, which with a bagger on, I mean, listen, that's not Honda style. So those are brand new blades too, if you saw the beginning of the video. And you know, if you look, you know, here's where we started, right? So if you take a look at the big picture, I mean, it looks okay. Those are not huge pieces of mulch, but again, I'm bagging. So why am I seeing, you know, mulch starting from here? You know, just, all right. Now, the thing I don't see is I don't see stragglers. So that's good news, right? Blade is cutting. I don't see any stragglers. As I take a good look, as I talk to you. All right. So again, just taking a good look here before I show you some different angles in a moment. Actually, you already saw the different angles. All right. So there is our cut with the Honda. We're going to place the Ego cut to the left side. All right, guys, we've got the Ego here. Again, the bagger is on. In this case, the number 4 is actually 2.5. All right, just so you'll know. All right, 2.5 inches is number 4. So we've got that to number 4. Now your deck obviously is, you know, good to the ground, just like the Honda was. So let's go ahead and see how this works out. Now, zoom out a little bit. Okay. Okay, we're going to stop now. Again, we're going to walk and take a look now. So we definitely got less coming out, okay? Some mulch escapes. Obviously, this is a small section, right? But we did get some escaping from the Ego as well. Here you go, you know, a couple pieces. Not as much, though, you know. So if you take a look at these two sections, here's your middle part, right? You know, you definitely have a lot more mulching escaping versus the Ego. So interesting to see. You know, I know Honda gets a lot of praise, and believe me, that was my last gas mower before I decided to switch to battery. All right, guys, I just cut this to a 3.5. I did a nice big patch here of grass. All right, so the center portion of the gate. All right, now the mowers are set to cut 2.5, and the reason for that is I want to show a maintenance cut, right? Many of us do maintenance cuts where we just cut a little bit of grass. Now we are going to actually take the bags off, and we are going to mulch. We want to see what the mulch looks like, all right, on a maintenance cut. So I'll be right back. I'm going to take the bags off. All right, guys, we are ready for our maintenance cut. We now have this on mulch settings all the way. You know, you do have options of putting it in the middle and actually mulching and bagging as well. So that's a nice feature. And your mulch plug, right? We talked about that earlier. It's built in. Okay, so both mowers are set at 2.5. So let's see. Okay, and step aside, and yeah, there's your mulch. Definitely a good amount of mulch. right? So we'll compare it in a moment. We'll start up with the Ego, and we'll leave that middle patch alone, okay? So okay, let's take a look now. I don't know where my shadow is. So I think my shadow, I'm not good with that east-west, guys. So here is our cut in the bigger picture, all right? The Honda on the left, the Ego on the right, both set to 2.5. Again, a lot more mulch on the Honda side. So interesting. Now this is the newer model Ego, right? The Select Cut XP. But, you know, and the blades are actually spread out a little more, if you noticed, on the Ego. We'll show you a close-up of that if we haven't already. But let me take the camera off, and, you know, I will just, you know, do a good walk here so you guys can see. Left is Honda, right is Ego. Now, let's move the mowers for a second, okay? Just to see where our clump up is. You know how you get the clump round? I call it the clump round. So you get the little circle of clump here. So we've got, you know, not too bad. Let's see what the Honda does. Pull that out. Interesting. Okay. So the Honda doesn't really do it too much. It just seems to let a lot of the mulch out as it's cutting. So I don't see that here. But, you know, when you look at clump mulch, again, this is still healthy, maybe a little borderline healthy, because if you look at this Honda side, guys, you know, this is a lot. Now, they're cut small, right? And that's the key thing. But, yeah, I mean, you definitely have a good amount, especially on this right side for some reason, or the left side of the mower, I should say. All right, now if we take a good look on the Ego side, we do have on this side here, and you know what's funny is it's more around the wheels, right? Look where the wheels are. You see, it leaves a strip of grass on the wheels side, a little bit in the middle. But yeah, more around the wheel side. Look at that. Interesting. So it leaves a strip of grass. So it cuts it. Okay. All right, guys, there's the patch. It's grew as much as it can grow. I wish I would have got it higher. But we do have some pretty nice high grass as I abuse my lawn because I love my subscribers. But, yeah, we've got some nice high grass, all right? I think we're about 15 inches, in some areas about 17 inches here. We're gonna go ahead and start off with the Honda. Now, I will tell you, we have these set at the highest and we're going to mulch. Okay, we got it set on mulch. We've got this set on the highest setting, which is 4 inches all the way around. Same thing here. We've got our mulch plug-in on our Ego. We've got the highest setting on, and we got some space so we could take a look at the cuts. Let's go ahead and start with the Honda and see how she does. All right. Don't mind the water in the background. I've got the pool running because it needs to be cleaned. All right. The Honda is on. Again, we cut this at 4 inches, guys. So we won't do a review just yet. I'm going to go ahead and do the Ego now, and then we'll take a peek. All right, so this is the highest. I just wanted to show you a mulch cut. Now, yeah, we're going to have mulch on the lawn, right? But let's just take a look at what happens if you cut your lawn high. Okay, so to the right, we've got Honda. Let's take a look at Honda at the highest setting. Definitely a good amount of mulch laid around the lawn for sure, as you can see, right? All of this consistently on the center part of the lawn. All right. Let's pull the lawnmower back, see what we got up front. Got a little bit up front, not too much. Again, we are mulching at the highest setting. Right now, let's take a look at the Ego. On the Ego, interesting, in the center, I don't see a lot of mulch. I do see mulch on the right side here, right? On the wheel side. That's where I see mulch left there. In the center, it definitely looks a lot better than the Honda, okay? But your mulch is left really on your right wheel here. Again, very consistently, right? So not in the center, whatever that means to anyone. Okay, and then let's check when we pull back the mower. And yeah, you know, we got some mulch. We've got some grass that it couldn't get to. All right, the next up, we're going to bag. All right, and we're going to bag to a level of 4. Well, really 2.5 inches. That's what's going to happen, guys. So on the Honda, 2.5 inches is 2.5 setting. All right, it's a 2.5 setting. It's actually pretty cool. I like that. Pain in the butt to get all 4 wheels, though. On the Ego, a 2.5 is the setting number 4. I'll be back. I'll set the mowers up. All right, guys, we have this Honda set on bag. All right, and we have our wheels set at 2.5 inches. All right, we have the bag on the Ego with the mulch plug out, and we have it set at number 4, which is 2.5. Let's go ahead and start with the Honda. All right, guys, let's go. Okay, well, we bagged with the bag all the way open, guys, but I already see mulch. Let's go with the Ego for now, guys. Ready? All right, push the button in. Take a look. Okay, we're off. All right, let's take a step back and take a peek at both of these guys. Again, we are going, like I said, this is 2.5 inches bagging a lot of grass, so you're going to get some mulch on the lawn. Let's take a look at these two. On the left is Ego, on the right is Honda. All right, from the high view, and then I'll bring it down a little bit more. Okay, now I'll pull back, I'll look at the Honda, and then I'll look at the Ego. All right, Honda. Definitely more mulch in the center, you know, with the bag on. Okay, let's take a look at the bag. Let's pull this and see what we got up front. Okay, pretty good up front. Can't complain. Nothing can get close to that fence. Let's go ahead and look at the Ego. All right, now the Ego's got some mulch. I'm not going to say it doesn't, but it definitely has a lot less than the Honda. I'd like to look at the bags too and empty those and kind of take a peek and see what that looks like, you know. But yeah, we got some mulch. I mean, when it's picking up and cutting that much grass, you have to expect it. But let's take a look up front. See, very similar there. No complaints, very similar. Okay. So guys, let's empty the bag out. All right guys, let me go ahead and grab the Honda bag first, and then I'll grab the Ego bag. All right, take a peek in here. All right, take this, lay it out there. Just kind of compare piles, maybe look at the mulch a little bit, okay? So here is the Honda bag. Just shake it out. Okay. Pretty empty. There goes Honda. Grab Ego. Okay, empty that out. Okay guys, this just kind of slid over a little bit. Let me push it back in. All right, so I don't know. I mean, Ego looks like a little bit more, you know. You look at the pile size. Right. Let's look from the top down. Okay. Let's look at some mulch. Let's just take a peek and grab a pile and take a look at Honda with the cross cut. Not the cross cut, God. Versa cut. So not bad. Did a pretty good job. You know, nice size pieces considering. Let's take a look here. The Ego, again, very comparable. Can't complain. So these guys are very similar. But I have to say, just looking at this, guys, definitely the suction power on the Ego lifted a lot more of that mulch, even though it was hard, because again, we were growing from like 16 to 17 inches in grass down to like 2.5, you know. So probably more around 16. But yeah, I say in this case, Ego looks better when it comes to the higher grass options, especially this Select Cut XP. And as you saw before, when we looked at these guys, you know, Ego kept the middle clean, had a little mulch on the right side. Honda had a little bit more mulch on the inside. All right, guys. All right, guys, so it's time for pros and cons. After this, I will have specifications if you want to see that. But let's get started on the pros and the cons. I'm going to start off with pros and I'll end with cons. So let's start off with some pros on the Honda. So number one, gas mowers last forever, right? I mean, they really do. Most of them last forever, and that is definitely a pro when it comes to gas mowers in general. A pro on the Ego definitely would be how light it is and how easy it is to maneuver. Even with the 10 amp hour battery, this mower is 63 pounds with the 10 amp hour battery. That is still very light. Another pro on the Honda is there's really no major costs down the road, right? Obviously here you've got battery costs, and hopefully your batteries will last you, but you know, at some point you might need to change them, right? Here, you know, as long as you are doing your tune-ups and you're bringing your mower in for maintenance, unless you know how to do that, which most people don't, a good amount of people do, right? So I'm talking average consumer, but no major cost long term. Now on the Ego, one of the things I liked is it's got less moving parts. So obviously on the maintenance side, you know, really you sharpen your blade, you put your battery in, and you should be good to go. Maybe you tighten your wheels at most. So less moving parts, much easier to maintain. On the Honda, Honda mowers specifically are like the top of the line when it comes to gas mowers. You know, they're right up there with a couple of companies. I'm not going to say they're number one, but solid quality when they make a mower. Back on Ego, you do get more storage options with the Ego, right? You can actually store this on its side. You can turn it upside down, right? You got no oil, no gas, nothing to spill. All right, so that's a good plus there. On the Honda, you do get a lifetime warranty on the deck. That's pretty cool. And that's a residential registration. You know, when you register this as a residential user, right? Just no commercial use. Because the commercial use, they have a 3-month warranty on the commercial use side. Back on Ego, you know, you don't get gas spills, you don't get oil spills, you don't have carburation issues. So that's going to be a plus. I call it a pro. Okay, and the other thing is you don't have to deal with high gas prices. You know, as I record this in July of 2021, gas prices are going up and up and up. So you don't have to worry about that with the Ego. The Honda does have a really good dual blade system that helps with the cut. Okay, so that's a plus on the Honda. Back on Ego's Pro, that 56-volt battery, what's nice about it is it works for every single tool Ego makes. So that's definitely a pro. I like on the Honda that it's got a fuel cutoff. Okay, so you can actually turn off the fuel cutoff switch, which we showed you earlier, and you can do your oil changes, you can change your blades by laying it on its sides. I like that. On the Ego side, this is definitely a lot less noisier because of that beautiful electric brushless motor. All right, so when you saw the sound test we did earlier in the video, you know, definitely the gas engine itself is louder. So this is definitely less noise. Another thing I like about the Honda is it's got the bigger wheels, right? It's got the 9-inch wheels all around. So, and I know people say why. You know, like some people love bigger wheels and some people don't care. For some reason, I find a lot of people like bigger wheels. So that is a pro there. On the Ego, I like that it has the one-hand height adjustment, right? That adjusts all 4 wheels. So that's definitely a pro. Very easy to drop that deck down from 1 inch to 4 inches. Okay. On the Honda, if you're thinking about how many bushels of grass does the bag handle, you get 2.5 bushels in the Honda bag versus 2 on the Ego. So that's definitely a pro there. Okay. One thing that we did see was the dual blade system on here, and that motor with the torque definitely helped with the suction and the cutting, which was surprising because I know the Honda is usually getting the praise, but I thought that the Ego did better when it came to that vacuum and just the way it displaces all of the mulch along the lawn. So I like that. On the Honda, it's got the built-in mulch plug, so you can't lose that, right? You just move that handle back and forth if you want on the back of the mower to adjust that. On the Ego, it's better for the environment, right? I mean, no gas, no oils, recycle, you know, batteries are recyclable, they're reusable, they're rechargeable. So, the only other thing I want to mention about the Honda is one of the pros is it is a little heavier. And because of that, that extra weight helps on uneven lawns to cut a little better and evenly, you know, maybe less stragglers, I should say, on when your lawn is uneven versus an even lawn, because that weight really helps keep the mower down. Okay, let's go ahead and go into the cons now, okay? I'll start off with the Ego on the cons, and I'll say the first thing is the batteries are expensive. All right, I mean, you're talking that 10 amp hour battery there can go anywhere from $450, honestly up over $500. I've seen right now the prices are actually pretty high. Some people say they've seen them as low as $400. I've not yet, okay, but that 10 amp hour battery is expensive. But keep in mind, the other thing I have to say though is the technology that Ego uses in batteries with their Keep Cool technology and the arc lithium and the way that battery's designed, that's going to raise the price of the battery. Honda on the con side, noisier, right? Definitely noisier. You're really not going to mow early in the morning. You're not going to mow late at night because it is definitely noisier. Ego, I would say the smaller wheels again. You know, a lot of people like bigger wheels. This guy's got smaller wheels in comparison to the Honda. So that would be a con. Con on the Honda is the weight. This thing is 90 pounds. It's definitely harder to maneuver because of that. All right, if you're older, it's going to be a harder mower to use. Yeah, self-propel helps, but it is still heavy. If you're going to store this thing, if you're going to try to lift it up, that weight makes a difference there. On the Ego, and this might be by design, I've talked about this before, one thing I don't like is the motor stays engaged. Now, when you're using self-propel, and then you go to pull back, you have to let go of the self-propel, of course, and you have to push forward in order to move back. I understand that. I hope they fix that one day. But what I am a little disturbed about is I mow without self-propel being on. I make sure self-propel is off, so I get the exercise. And I find the motor still engages. And I'm like, why? Why does the motor engage when self-propel isn't even on? So I'm disappointed in that. I hope they fix that. Honda does require more maintenance, so that's going to be another con, right? You've got to change the oil, you've got to change the spark plug, you've got to change the air filter, you've got to obviously put gas in it. It can be messy. Storing gas can be messy. And by the way, these things heat up and they expand, these cans, so you got to be careful if you've got them in your garage like I do. I have to turn the knob once in a while, open it up and release the pressure. So that's another thing. Another con on the Ego, and it's a pro and a con, is the light. Because it's light, when you are mowing an uneven lawn, it will bounce more. And when it bounces more, it will kind of leave stragglers from time to time, and you have to go back and cut it again because it is lighter. That's what, you know, having an advantage of it being lighter, but also a disadvantage. On the Honda, I found in the cutting tests it left more mulch even when we were bagging, so that's a con, at least in this specific competition that we did. On the Ego, you do have to sharpen your blades more often for a cleaner cut. I probably sharpen my blades 3, maybe 4 times in a season to make sure my blades are sharp for that nicer cut. All right, I'm done with Ego. Let me move on to Honda. the other challenge is, and is a con, is you have to adjust all 4 of the wheels in order to adjust the height. Now, some people put the height where they want it, and that's all, and it stays that way. Well, it might not affect you then. But for someone that maybe uses this mower to cut different lawns at different heights, you've got to adjust each wheel, obviously, in order to more work in comparison to Ego's one handle there that they have for the height adjustment of the deck. Last thing I will say, you know, look, gas mowers don't always start up, right? I mean, I had some challenges in this video. I had to, you know, pretty much pull that and try to start it a couple of times. All right, that's the cons. Guys, I've got some specs coming up, okay? I really hope this was helpful in some way. Give us a thumbs up. I hope we earned the thumbs up with the detail that we try to provide. I hope that you share our video, and I surely hope you subscribe. Here are the specs. Thank you so much. Have a great day, and here are the specs. Hey guys, take a moment and give us a thumbs up. We'd really appreciate it. As you can see, Brooklyn, she's waving her tail for you. Take a moment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell and you'll get notified of new videos we come out with. Also, follow us and contact us on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook. We'd love to have you. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.